Welcome back, everybody, to the latest edition of the Servant Podcast. I am your host, Joey Sedevine. First and foremost, let me take uh, take the time to send all praises to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without Him, I wouldn't be in this position to do the thing that I love to do best, and that is uh, give my opinions on sports, having the ability to speak and just have it just opened my mind to just think outside the be the out the box thinker. Um, I want to thank you guys for actually taking the time to actually tune in and check out the show. Um, I appreciate all the love and support that I'm getting. Uh, I'd also like to send a few special shout outs. One to my brother, Bruce Rock. If you're not familiar with who he is, look up the Levi Super Bowl commercial. Look up the Squabble Up video. He's the Chicano with the brim and the Pendleton on pop locking. So shout out to him. Shout out to OG family, Mike, Alex, the whole crew out there in San Bernardino for showing my brother love. So make sure you go show support to the homies at OG family. You know, they did the special edition of these of their shirts uh, in honor of my brother first. So make sure you go follow OG Family, check them out, place you a few orders with their merchandise. And another shout out goes to uh, Garcia hats, Garcia signature hats. That is. Make sure you check them out. They're on Instagram. They're also at the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet. If you're from the LA area, check them out. You know that's where I get my brims. So huge shout out to all of them. Make sure you uh, follow my brother Burst Rock at Burst Rock 27 Junkies on Instagram, 27 Junkies clothing underscore, and Taco Junkies as well for all your taco catering needs. So one of the things I want to talk about while I pivot over into the sports realm is I like giving my unbiased opinions when it comes to sports related topics. And something in the news the other day caught my attention that I really, really loved. And that is Pete Carroll going to the Vegas Raiders. Let me tell you why I like this stability. Pete Carroll knows how to coach. Pete Carroll knows how to build a franchise from the ground up. He did it at SC. He did it with Seattle. Russell Wilson. Legion of Boom was him. The Legion of Boom was him. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that he'll turn that franchise around. Now, I didn't like that Antonio Pierce was basically given the door. I didn't like that they didn't give him anything to work with, and they basically set him up to fail. I didn't like that one bit. They never gave him the opportunity to maximize his potential as a head coach, and they really did him a disservice by doing that. And honestly, I think that was a little disrespectful too. But back to the topic at hand. AFC West is going to be a problem this year. You honestly think Pete Carroll doesn't know how to scheme up the defense to go against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? Let's look at the coaches in the AFC West. Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh. He's beaten Sean Payton in the playoffs in New Orleans. And me being a Rams fan, knowing the way the NFC West works, you remember those battles between the Seahawks and the Niners. Jim Harbaugh was the head coach. Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback. You remember that? It's beating them both. AFC West is a lot more interesting now that Pete Carroll's in. He could actually. I'm not so sure that if he builds his roster this offseason, they could potentially win the AFC West. I'll put it to you this way. Would I pick them right now? No, I would not pick them right now. Just being honest. I wouldn't pick the Raiders right now. Would I be surprised if they did win the AFC West? Not at the least bit. Because I know Pete Carroll. I know his track record. He knows how to build a winner. He's a coach's coach. He's a player's coach. And he's going to put guys in positions to succeed. And I absolutely 100% love this move for the Raiders. 100%. I'm genuinely excited for my brother and all my friends that are Raider fans. Like I said, on this platform, I'm not here to hate. Specific teams, specific teams, and occasionally I'll do it. You'll randomly see me do it every so often. In this case, no, not in this particular case, not at all. So I can't wait to see this. I mean, you got guys out there. You can either draft a quarterback or you can go and get you one of free agents. Sam Darnold is out there. You could probably trade for Kirk Cousins. So there's quite a few things you can go out. You can go out there and you can do. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. I personally cannot wait. So while I'm staying on this topic of the NFL, not sure. It's kind of slipped under the radar. 18-game season for the NFL, which would basically eliminate another preseason game, which will ultimately give guys in the league a easier ability to break NFL records. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. You see, for me, you're just taking one less preseason game away, which means guys play more. Now, I love what the NFL is doing as far as recognizing the product that they have on the football field. Some of the rules say otherwise, and I get it and I understand. I don't like a lot of the rules that are implemented in the league, but what I will say is this: unlike the NBA, guys show up to play. Unlike the NBA, guys give effort. And outside of the wide receiver position, NBA has all the divas. I don't know how many Rams games I've been to, and every time I've gone, starting, I'll go back to 2017. I saw Todd Gurley play, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Jared Goff, Aaron Donald. Matter of fact, every Rams game that I've seen in person, the Stars played. Nobody, nobody made a decision to not want to play. Nobody. NBA, not so much. These guys pick and choose when they want. I mean, look, I've already had this conversation. I've already talked about this talked about this particular topic in a previous episode. NBA players show up when they want to show up. They play when they want to play. But here you got Tua Tagovailoa, concussions and all, wants to play. Now, I personally would recommend that he retires. But that goes back to my point. These guys on the NFL football field show up every game, play with effort every game, not missing a game at all. It's a tough, physical, violent sport. And you got NBA players that decide they play when they want to play. So, yeah, I think this 18 game season does help the NFL. It puts more revenue. The fans watch more. You got more eyes at the NFL. I love this. As a football fan, I love this. I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. You say NFL players get more incentives then. I'd like to know what you guys would think. Just hit the comment section and just let me know what you think. Let me pivot over to another topic. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Are they really villains? Are they really? Here's where I have a problem with that. I can admit, as a kid, as a teenager growing up, I was very unaware of a lot of things growing up as a kid, right? So, yeah, I don't understand how it worked. I'm just looking at the Yankees signing everybody, not realizing that as I get older, as I pay attention to things, as I start to realize you have to spend money to win. You can't just build from your farm system. You got to be able to make trades. You got to be able to make splashes. And just because the Dodgers are doing it and they're doing it the best doesn't make them villains. The Yankees still do it. They're the Yankees. The Mets have just done it. The Phillies have done it. The Cubs have done it. The Padres have done it. All teams with billion-dollar payroll. It just so happens that the Dodgers are doing it better. And here's the other thing: billionaires in the Major League Baseball, they got the money to spend. They have the money to spend. They just don't want to. And if they are willing to, the people that are in the front office don't know what they're doing. They don't. Here's another important factor in all of this: culture. Culture in sports is everything. And that's the one thing that doesn't get talked about. It's culture. Culture is very important in sports. And since this new ownership with the Dodgers took over, they have built a culture. Look around. Culture says everything. That's why guys like Shohei, Yamamoto, Freeman, Sasaki, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow. That's why guys like that want to play in Dodger blue. That's why they want to play for the Dodgers, the organization, the culture. These guys are willing to do whatever it takes to win. So why is that the Dodgers' fault? Instead of pointing the finger at your front office, at your management, at the culture in your clubhouse. Like I said, as a youngster growing up, I didn't understand those dynamics. That's why I got mad every time the Yankees signed somebody or traded for somebody. I don't understand the dynamics. Problem is, you have a lot of adults that understand the dynamic and choose to ignore those dynamics just to have a reason to hate. That's funny to me. That's funny to me. It's not their fault. It's not the Dodgers' fault. Sorry, it's not. It's not the fan base's fault. So stop complaining. Stop complaining about the Dodgers, how they're doing it, what they're doing. Start pointing the finger at your front office. Start holding them accountable. Start pointing the fingers at them instead of pointing the fingers at the Dodgers. To finish, to finish this episode, this will be a two-parter. To finish this episode, my Rams. What a great season it was for them. From the injuries at the beginning of the season to the way the season ended, with expectations, a new defensive coordinator, sort of, because he was already on the coaching staff. I couldn't be any more proud of this team at all. With Steve Avila and Cooper Kupp getting hurt. I'm sorry, not Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua getting hurt in the second quarter of the season opener against Detroit, losing that game. Alaric Jackson being out for multiple games. Jonah Jackson getting hurt, Cooper Kupp getting hurt, Tyler Higbee still being out with an injury because of what happened in the playoffs the season prior. I didn't want to get into that. It's a different conversation for a different day. Cooper Kupp being in the trade rumors, Stafford's name being linked to the Miami Dolphins, Bryce Young being linked to the Rams, all that stuff floating around. This team managed to go on a nice little run, win the division. After that 1-4 start, a lot of Rams fans gave up on this team. Nobody thought the Rams would even make the playoffs, let alone win the division. See, there's a difference between being arrogant, being confident, having faith, or just being delusional. There's a difference between every single one of those things. I had a lot of faith in this team. I had a lot of belief in this team. Losing John Johnson, losing Troy Reader, trading away Ernest Jones, losing guys in the secondary. I don't think people realize that we have 5 rookies starting on the defensive side of the football. 5 of them. At center. Bo Limmer starting as a center for the Rams. Then we know about the Jared Verses and the Brady Fisks, Omar Speights, Jalen McCullough. Cameron Kitchens. This team played extremely well this season. Extremely well. I couldn't be any prouder. And then marching in to the playoffs. My prayers are with everybody back home in Los Angeles that were affected by the fires. Being an Angelino, being from the city of Los Angeles, growing up in the city of Los Angeles, going through the different fires that we've had during fire season, going through the earthquakes that we've had, especially the Northridge earthquake. Looking at all these pictures and all these videos of this fire, just it's never looked that devastating, even with the earthquakes that we've had in the past. This Rams team fought for their coach, fought for each other, fought for the city, and they left it all on the field. Completely smoked the Vikings in the wild card game. Completely smoked them. Sacked Sam Darnold 9 times. Then going to Philly. Before I get to Philly, privately, I had some of these conversations with people that I know. playing against San Francisco. Believe it was 53 degrees in San Francisco, raining. Helped. If you've ever been to San Francisco, you know. If you're from California in general, period, you know the Bay Area is colder than Southern California. And then the following week, oh, mind you, we beat San Francisco in that weather. I get it. They were hurt. I completely understand. But it's the 49ers and they usually have our number. Hurt or not, they usually have our number. And then going into New York to play the Jets. And I get it. It's a bad football team, badly coached. It still has Sauce Gardner. Still had Devontae Adams. Still had Lazard. Still had Garrett Wilson. Still have Aaron Rodgers. And we still went into New York and beat that team. Yeah, you're telling me, well, what does it matter? They sucked. What matters is it was 21 degrees in New York City when the Rams beat them in New York. And I told people close to me privately, I told them, those two games against San Francisco and New York, even though there were close wins, what it does for us now, we can we can walk into Philly, we can go into Philly, and we can beat Philly. It prepared us. We could beat them, and we could argue semantics. We can go back and forth on what happened with the game. At the end of the day, we lost. Another day, we can sit back and talk about the illegal man downfield when Jalen Hurts ran that football. We could talk about those long Barkley runs. We can't even talk about the pass interference that wasn't called in the fourth quarter. Let's remove all of that. That's not the topic. The fact is, the Rams in snow. I couldn't tell you whether it was a blizzard or not, so I'm not going to call it a blizzard. I will just say snow. People on the East Coast, they can tell me if that was a blizzard or not. I don't know. So I'm just going to call it snow. The Rams walked in there, put up over 400 yards. It's snowy weather. Kyron Williams ran for over 100. Matthew Stafford threw for over 300. Our defense got to Jalen Hurts 7 times. 7. We can argue back and forth and say that the Rams didn't dominate, but we know they did. We know they did. And for all the talk about Jared versus comments about the Eagle fans, that man still showed up and he balled. That man went out of his mind. A special shout out, a real special shout out to those Eagle fans that recognize that. That man did all that talking and backed it up. And it showed him respect for that. As a matter of fact, let me send another shout out to the Bidwell family, the Arizona Cardinals. for stepping up and allowing the Rams to use their stadium, use their training facilities, and sent two planes to pick up the team and the family. And not to mention Kelly Stafford and Kevin Demoff for getting buses together to have Rams fans get from LA to Glendale, Arizona to go watch the Rams play in Arizona in that wild card game. So shout out to everybody there. If Bo Limmer, no, he's a rookie, and I'm gonna cut him some slack. I'm not gonna blame this on him. All I'm gonna say is this: if Bo Limmer even chips Jalen Carter, we got a game-winning touchdown on our hands. All he has to do is chip him. But we lost, and it's okay. Can't wait for the 2025 season. I trust what this front office is going to do, and I can't wait. Can't wait. There's a lot of things going on with this Rams team. Uncertainty, uncertainty of Matthew Stafford, Cooper Cup, Havenstein, Higby. Don't know what's going to happen with them, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I trust Sean. I trust Les, and I'm ready for 2025. Let's go, Rams. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Share if you can. Again, shout out to OG family. Shout out to Garcia Signature Hats. Most importantly, my brother, Rock, 27 Junkies, Taco Junkies. Love you guys, and I'll catch you guys later.